Okay, so like I've been saying, there's a lot of head coaching candidates, a lot of good and bad. And we're going to start off with the bad ones. The way I did this is I've gathered 21 head coaching candidates. Like, not that I think will be good, but names I have seen thrown around by fans and, national media, local media, and I am ranking these guys from worst to best. And we're gonna start off with the worst for the Texans, and we're gonna build our way up. Today, this week, we're gonna go from 21 to 11, and then next week you're getting 10 through 1. Now, this list, you're gonna see some names on here that you're gonna be like, what? Why isn't that guy higher on your list? Like, one guy in particular is gonna shock you guys that he's not higher on my list. Actually, maybe two, because I don't think some of these guys are cut out for what we need. A lot of these guys are gonna be defensive guys, so keep that in mind. So let's just get right to this. But before we move on, be sure to hit that like button. Can we get to 4,692 likes? No, I'm just playing. Just like the video. But yeah, let's just get right into this. At number 21, like, I do not want this guy at all. And I know, like, this was brought up as a joke, but some people are actually like, what about this guy? Oh, the Texans are going to get this guy. Saying, like, the Texans are a bad enough team to go get this guy. I'm talking about Adam Gase. No. No, 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 no. He is not a fun guy to be around. Like, so many of his players complain about him. Like, no, just no, 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 no. Dude ruined Sam Darnold's career. Like, Darnold's probably gonna get shipped out next year for like a third round pick or something, and they're gonna get Trevor Lawrence. And if he's still there, he's gonna ruin Trevor Lawrence too. Like, no, no to Adam Gase. Next guy, Dan Quinn at 20. No, Dan Quinn is not good. Plus, he is bald. Yes, he took the Falcons to a Super Bowl, but what has he done since then? The Falcons are 0-5. Their offense should be explosive, like tearing everyone up. Their defense has been trash for years, and for a guy that came from like the Pete Carroll Seattle place, like, the dude sucks on the defensive side of the ball. Like, why? Like, no, 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 no. Next, I got Josh McDaniels at number 19. Do not want Josh McDaniels. Now, this one might shock you guys, a handful of you guys, but Josh McDaniels is not good. Josh McDaniels got his opportunity with the Broncos, and he straight up Bill O'Brien'd that team. He ruined that team. He is not good outside of New England, which, by the way, the Texans should stay away from the New England guys. You do not want the Texans to go get another New England guy after they literally had a New England guy for 7 years. It would be more of the same thing. Like, you really want a whole decade plus of having a New England guy. Yes, Josh McDaniels is doing good under Belichick, but so did Bill O'Brien. So did, Matt Patricia and every other coach that has ever came from New England that didn't amount to anything after that. I mean, maybe the only exception is Brian Flores, but we still have to see more from him. So, yeah, no, no. Yeah, I know some people actually want Josh McDaniels, but Josh McDaniels, stay away from him. Next guy that I've been seeing thrown around by some Texans fans, Wade Phillips. The only reason people are even mentioning Wade Phillips is because of Bum Phillips, and they can't let go of the Oiler days. Let it go. The Oilers are gone. The Oilers went to Tennessee and they don't wash their hands. No, bro. You do not want Wade Phillips. You do not want defensive-minded head coaches. There's only one that I wouldn't mind, but we'll get into that one in next week's video. Like, a lot of these guys, all these guys that you're probably going to hear on this list, they're on nose for me, man. And Wade Phillips, he's older. And Wade Phillips, yeah, he's a nice defensive coordinator, But when it comes to being a head coach, he is not good. So Wade Phillips is a no-go. Wade Phillips was number 18 out of 21. He is just not good. Moving on to number 17. Jim Harbaugh. That's right, Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is not good. What happened when all the talent left San Francisco? The Niners were bad. What happened when he went to Michigan? What has Michigan done in his tenure there? Absolutely nothing. Not only that, it's been known that the players in the NFL that played for Jim Harbaugh, they didn't like him. He is Bill O'Brien. Like, the way he is, the way he carries himself. He is Bill O'Brien 2.0. You do not want that. You want a guy that the players will love with a great attitude. Jim Harbaugh, he ain't that. He is not that. Like, he treats his players like children. You do not want that. These are grown men. You can't have a guy treating his players like children, you know? Next on my list, Tony Romo. Now, Tony Romo is definitely interesting, but Tony Romo has never coached a day in his life. And obviously, people were saying Tony Romo because of the stuff he predicts, you know, on the whole CBS while calling the games. And yeah, I understand that, but Tony Romo is not leaving to coach. Tony Romo has a stress-free job, chilling in the booth, making millions upon millions, like probably more than he could make coaching. Like, why in the world would he step down from the booth to go coach? You know, like, it doesn't make sense. And again, like, he has 0 experience coaching, so maybe he's bad. The Texans, here's the thing, the Texans cannot mess their coaching hire up. So you can't play around with people like Tony Romo. You gotta go get a guy that you know can get the job done. And Tony Romo, he's a complete question mark. So quit saying Tony Romo and the rest of these guys. Next guy. Why are people like this? Gary Kubiak comes in at number 15. I do not want the Texans to get Gary Kubiak. Like, if you want Gary Kubiak, you're either a weird person that can't get over their ex and you need some help, like really, really bad, because get over it. It's been 7 years. He's gone. Or B, you probably just started watching the Texans like in 2014 or after that, and you don't remember how bad Kubiak was. No. Kubiak is conservative AF. If you got mad at Bill O'Brien for being conservative, you're going to hate Gary Kubiak. The dude calls a halfback draw on anything that's further than 3rd and 4. You know how O'Brien did the wide receiver screens on 3rd and 10? Well, Kubiak does his own thing. Halfback draw on anything further than 3rd and 4. I'm not even playing. And he is way too predictable. Like, if you stop his run, that's it. Like, he cannot scheme passing plays without the run. So if you stop his run game, you stop his whole entire game plan. Like, his game plan is centered around the run. Do you really want someone like Deshaun Watson to be in a run-heavy offense? Hell no. Next guy. This guy is going to shock a lot of you people that he's so low on my list, but I do not think this guy is good at all. And that is Robert Sala. What? Robert Sala? He can be good for the Texans? No. One, he does not get to bring Richard Sherman, Nick Bosa, D Ford, Arik Armstead, Fred Warner with him. Like, he doesn't get to bring all those players with him. Do the Texans have some talent? Yes. Are they as talented as the Niners on defense? No. He does not get to bring all those players with him. And if you saw last week, the Niners defense got torched by the Miami Dolphins, by Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is not a good option for the Houston Texans. Not only that, he doesn't get to bring Kyle Shanahan with him. Shanahan is over there having the same offense as Gary Kubiak, run first offense, which drains all the clock. So his defense doesn't have to be out there all that much. He's not bringing Shanahan with him either. You know? And then you got the whole thing where if you hire a defensive-minded coach, who's going to be the OC? Who's Watson going to be with? Who is he going to bring in? Like, do you trust this guy to hire the right guy? I don't. And if he does hire the right guy, guess what? They're just going to steal him right from the Texans because that's what happens. If you have an offense that's doing good or a defense that's doing good, then that coordinator is getting stolen for a head coaching job. Do you really want Deshaun Watson to be put in a situation where he has to have a new offensive coordinator every 1 to 2 years? No. And then what happens if he doesn't get the right offensive coordinator? Then we're right back to square one with a terrible offense with a very good quarterback. Then you just can't have that. You cannot mess this higher up, and Robert Sala is not a good option for the Texans. I'm sorry, I know a lot of you guys like him, but no, stay away from him. Yes, he yells a lot on the sideline. Yes, the players love him, but you got to get a guy who's good, a guy who you know can not only do the X's and O's, but a guy who is offensive minded. Like I said, there's only one defensive minded coach that I wouldn't mind, and you guys will know who it is next week. But Robert Sala is not it. Like, I am sorry. Like, I just do not see him being successful here in Houston. Number 13, I got Todd Bowles. Now, I do like Todd Bowles, but again, it falls under the same thing as Robert Sala. Like, he's a defensive-minded guy. Do you trust him to get the right OC? And if he does get the right OC, they're just going to steal him. And the players do love him. He had success with the terrible Jets before. Like, that's the only reason why he's higher than Robert Sala on my list, because he had success with the Jets. Like, he took him to like a 10-6 record, like just barely missing out of the playoffs, like in 2015, I believe, or maybe 2016. So he's had success before, but again, like, he's a defensive-minded guy. You do not want a defensive-minded guy. So, yeah. Moving on to number 12. This one's going to shock you guys, too. Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney is not a good option for the Texans. Dabo Swinney is probably not going to leave Clemson, but the reason why I have to put him on my list is because a lot of you guys are going to ask about Dabo Swinney. A lot of you guys do want Dabo Swinney, and obviously you have the Deshaun Watson and Dabo Swinney connection. But Dabo Swinney, similar to Jim Harbaugh, he treats his players like kids, like teenagers, because they are teenagers in college. But in the NFL, they're grown men. Like, the things he does in college, he can't do with these grown men, So, like, I don't think he'd be good for the Texans. Like, is he better than a lot of these guys? Absolutely. That's why he's higher on my list, but I still wouldn't go get Dabo Swinney. And now, number 11 on my list, and this will conclude today's video, is Anthony Weaver. Anthony Weaver is actually an option for the Texans, believe it or not. It's been said that the league thinks very, very highly of Anthony Weaver, and he could potentially be a head coach in the future, and he's already here in Houston, so the players love him. That is known. The players love playing for him. He's a young guy, so he's actually a realistic option for the Texans, but I don't want him. Love you, Anthony Weaver. Love how you have your players playing, how your players play hard for you. Love the the blitzes that you're actually throwing in now, as opposed to Romeo being so conservative, on defense when he was calling the plays. But I don't think it would be wise to promote from within. I think the Texans have to go out and find a new guy, and again, an offensive-minded guy, because defensive-minded guys, I do not trust them. Plus, this is an offensive-driven league. You have to go get an offensive guy. And I feel like promoting Anthony Weaver would literally just scream Jim Tom Sula 2.0. And if you guys do not know what I'm talking about here, after Jim Harbaugh got fired from the 49ers, the Niners hired their defensive line coach, Jim Tom Sula, as their head coach. And boy, was that disastrous. I do not want the Texans making that mistake. Like I said, the Texans need to get this hire right. Now, Anthony Weaver was number 11 on my list. Next week, you'll get 10 through 1. And my number 1 will be like the guy that I want. And, 2 would be someone I'd be okay with. 3 is going to be someone else that I'd be okay with. But 1 is the guy I absolutely want. And I feel like a lot of you guys are going to agree with me as well. But, like, for the most part, 11 through 21 was, like, for the most part, at least, like, in the bottom half, like, guys that people are just throwing around that I don't think are good. But, towards the top, Anthony Weaver, Dabo Swinney, Robert Sala, Gary Kubiak, and stuff like that. Those are actually names that Texans fans are actually considering. And Robert Sala is one that's, like, very, very popular with Texans fans. And I really do think that Texans need to stay away from that. Now, I understand you guys want the other half of my list. But, see, we're already, 16 minutes into this video. So if I were to include that other half, this video would probably be 35 minutes long. So I do not want to do that. So we're just going to split it here, and you'll get the next part next week with some better candidates. I'll probably go more in depth into some of them, because these guys are going to be obviously way more popular options than the ones I've listed today. But the ones I've listed today were still floating around, and I feel like if I would just talk about the main ones, like the Eric Bieniemys, I feel like people would ask me about, whoa, Sticky, what about this guy? What about that guy? So I feel like I had to get through these guys first before we get to the very, very good ones. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys for today. Comment down below your opinions on these guys. Do you actually like Robert Sala? Do you actually want Gary Kubiak and stuff like that? And don't worry, I promise you we'll get to Eric Bieniemy and the other guys next week. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.